The programmable alien AI has infected carbon material and is what has taken over the platonic solid dodecahedron.
You know, just to let y'all know, I hope you guys do got your hammers out there. I hope you got y'all guns.
Stopping Medicaid, food supplement, nutritional supplement, SNAP benefits right before the holiday season is 1000% intentional.
What up, man? Giving you another react. So sit back, relax, observe, and let's get into it, y'all. Roll the clip.
You know, just to let y'all know, I hope you guys do got your hammers out there. I hope you got y'all guns. Let me just keep it real. Second Amendment up, and you know what? It's not even to fight anyone but other people when they're going to be pushed to the limit. But this food stamp thing that's going on, you already got the homeless begging for money. Imagine if you can't feed the homeless and they're cutting off that like they're trying to depopulate them. But I digress. That's just satire. That food stamp thing is huge. They're trying to collapse us. Tell me why or what would be the intention for them cutting off food stamps? So crime can rise, right? Yeah? And this affects you, you know, you middle class, upper class people. You're not gonna wanna leave your house because y'all are gonna be the target. Yes, they're pitting us against each other by stopping the food stamps. I hope you guys see that. I called this 4 years ago and people called me crazy. What you're about to see happen in America, this push for civil war, is unprecedented. That's why they've had us so divided. But something tells me that Christ consciousness is gonna rise and everybody's gonna remember, and they're forcing a situation. And I hope, I pray, you guys wake the fuck up and don't fight each other, but fight the ones responsible for you being poor. Fun fact, India is one of the oldest capitalistic countries. Are you telling me capitalism works when you look at India? And how old is our country? I think there needs to be a change. Y'all need to wake the fuck up.
They're putting disabled people's names on lists now, okay? Let me just read you this letter that I got from the hospital that I take my son with autism to, okay? During a recent New Jersey Department of Health autism audit of New Jersey hospitals, your child, Theodore, was identified as having severe nonverbal autism. New Jersey Department of Health requires registration of children with autism for purposes of providing appropriate services. They don't provide shit. They're not going to call you and be like, hey, we see your son has autism. Can we help you? Never happen. Registration is not optional, okay? However, anonymous registration can be requested without identifiable information. Now, you only have a certain amount of time to respond to this. So they mailed it to me on October 3rd, and I know that because I have the stamped post thing here. And I had to respond by October 8th to keep my son's name and it be anonymous. It's the 13th, and I just got the letter. My disabled son's name is now on a list with a bunch of other disabled people. Sounds familiar. When did we do this before? When in history? This sounds very familiar. When in history did this happen before?
You have to understand that if you call on the devil will answer. And that's exactly what Sam and Kobe did. They just made a video about summoning the devil, and now they're having regrets. Matter of fact, look at this shit. Look at this shit.
I cannot be a part of this. With my faith, you're not supposed to mess with this dark magic. Be careful. But I cannot directly talk to Satan.
Now, anybody in their right mind would know that calling on the devil, summoning the devil, would be the worst thing to do. Look at what just happened with the Annabelle doll. Look at the fires. Look at the people that lost their lives. And then now let's go to Sam and Kobe. They just did a ritual where they summoned the devil. I keep telling y'all, stop playing with these paranormal beings. Because the paranormal, supernatural beings will attach itself to you. And guess what? They won't want to let go. It's another video where he's saying that he feels uncomfortable, like his spirit feels messed up now that they did what they did. Matter of fact, listen to this shit.
This video that we're posting tomorrow, it goes against my personal beliefs, and it was something that I have been mentally struggling with and battling. Sam and I, for those of you who don't know, pushed the bar further than we ever have before. And although I didn't participate in this personally, we thought it was a good concept for the video to try to directly contact the actual devil, like Satan himself. And just being completely honest with you guys here, I was able to live with myself after this experience because I was just telling myself, like, hey, because I didn't participate in this, I did nothing wrong per se. And I don't know, just being honest with you guys, like, the past few months I felt really, really bad as a Christian man about taking it this far.
Now, if he's saying that he feels like that, how do you think Sam is feeling? Like I said in the beginning of the video, when you call the devil will answer. I want y'all to jump in the comments and tell me what you think about this. This shit is crazy. I'm
There's no rules, there's no laws. You can do anything you want. You don't have to pay taxes. You don't have to stop at red lights. You don't even have to hold the door open for an old woman with her hands full of groceries. Not while the government shut down. If the government shut down, there are no laws and no one could stop you from being whatever you want to be. If you want to get married, get married. If you want to get divorced, get divorced. If you want to go steal from a bank, you're allowed to. The way that the government works is like playing basketball in elementary school with the bully. And if the bully doesn't get what he wants, he takes the ball and says, that's not what I wanted to do, so no one's allowed to play basketball. I'm going home. And it's interesting because they're supposed to be a public service for the American people, but really, they don't care about the American people at all. And that's the real crux of it, is that they kind of do whatever they want to get whatever they want, and if they don't get whatever they want, then the American people suffer. So let that be a lesson to everyone in this country. If the government doesn't get what they want, then you're in trouble, not them.
Someone explain to me the phenomenon of this personality type.
I am great.
It seems that in my lifetime a new type of enlightened individual has emerged. Someone who claims to be able to channel godlike entities.
The energy of the blue aliens.
And aliens from other dimensions.
Here are 3 signs that you might be an Arcturian starseed.
They appear to be and present themselves as being extremely spiritual or in touch with otherworldly phenomena.
Yes, we are here. We are here. We are very happy to be here. Yes, indeed. Yes, we are here.
But what's really going on here? Are these people part of a new spiritual revolution? Or is it simply an identity where people display themselves on social media as spiritually enlightened?
I'm a starseed. I'm a starseed.
Can living like these people suggest actually make your life more tolerable and meaningful? Or is it all a bunch of bullshit? You be the judge.
I just want to know, what is that? Because we as the indigenous, we are the pioneers of spirituality. And I've never done anything like this. I've never claimed to channel anything. No blue aliens, no Arcturians, none of that. What is this, y'all? What reality are we living in? I'm telling you right now, a lot of you guys are falling for this trap. This Earth School, a lot of y'all are gonna come back and redo this all over again because you're falling for a trap like this. Look at her, try not to laugh, y'all. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get this shift. Peace in.
So this digital ID situation is really starting to escalate. I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but the UK is starting to make it mandatory for people to get a digital ID if they want to work there.
I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
Well, other countries like Vietnam are already taking extreme measures because they've shut down the bank accounts of 86 million people who refuse to comply and get digital IDs. People in the UK have already been protesting this because they believe the digital ID infringes on their privacy. But many believe that this is deeper than just privacy concerns, but instead the beginning stages of a mark of the beast-like system. The Bible makes it very clear that at the end of days, you will not be able to buy or sell anything if you do not have the mark of the beast. But leave a like and let me know what you think about all this in the comments.
News, we currently have 3 B-52s that are in the Caribbean.
How long have I warned you all? I told you, if they explode a nuke down there, she's going to move. She's going to flinch. And once again, California, y'all better get ready. Y'all see those B-52s? What do they carry on B-52s? That's right. The mother of all bombs. I told you, if you see them in the Caribbean, you know what time it is. And you can look at this and clearly see exactly where they are. Now, what happens when they drop that bomb in the Caribbean? Cali, the entire West Coast. Y'all better get prepared. And don't ever say that I lied to you.
The White House is telling states not to issue people SNAP benefits in November. Now, I've never gotten SNAP benefits. I don't get food stamps. I don't get Medicaid. I don't get any government assistance. I've never been eligible for it. I've always made too much money. But I've never had a problem with my taxpayer money going to feed people. Ever. I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, food stamps could be universal to where anyone in the country can sign up for it. And I wouldn't mind paying that. I have a bigger problem paying for, like, you know, the F-35 that we've spent billions of dollars on and still doesn't fly properly, or the fact that Congress is still getting paid during a government shutdown while we're all working and the government is not functioning. And usually during government shutdowns, they make sure that food stamps and things like that keep going out because, you know, children will starve. And I don't care about my tax money going to feeding starving children. I'm a lot more pissed about the $40 billion that Donald Trump is sending down to Argentina than I am about some mom who's trying to feed her kids. And if you have a problem with some mom trying to feed her kids, then there's something wrong with you. And if you don't have a problem with the government stopping using our money to pay for these kids' food like they're supposed to, then I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you.
What's up? You trying to step to the mic? Oh, I need to hear this. Thanks for stepping to the mic. My name is Michael Manelli, and I'm looking for a feature, so I need you to give me your best on this one. I'm gonna start, then you go, okay?
I got you.
Cause baby, we're overdue. I won't waste a second when it comes to you. We'll always do ourselves to see this through. When time ain't on our side, that's no excuse. Let's put this love to use.
Before the nigga Joey, enough chit chat, baby, you gon' have to show me. We been overdue, I've been over that last dude, scrolling on the gram, and of course I double tapped you. Face mug, body he know what it is. Nothing like your last, I'm really the realest bitch. Once I go bananas, that means that it's time to split. Plus I got my own coin, don't need a nigga for shit. If you want it real bad, put that work in. Fly me the Turks in, throw some bands in the Birkin. Now your old hoes lurking, they just hurting, cause they hate ain't working. It don't get no better than this. I got my ex nigga mad, I'm making him reminisce. It don't get no better than this. I got my ex niggas mad, I'm making them reminisce.
New York City's in the building, you heard her talking.
Influencers will be the first to take the mark of the beast. And I believe that they are being primed to do it, to influence the masses to follow their lead and also take the mark of the beast. Think about how much power and influence these people have. And yeah, like, celebrities are cool, and I also believe that they'll play a big part in this. But influencer culture and how, honestly, they've risen to the A-list celebrity of life, they are going to downplay the mark of the beast. is going to come out and they're going to say, oh, everybody's going to take it. Everybody's taking it. They're even going to create ads for the mark of the beast. I'm going to show you a world that if you take the mark of the beast, your life will be exponentially better. They're also going to be offered millions and millions and millions of dollars to influence you to accept the mark of the beast. And you might think I'm just yapping, but I'm not. Revelation says that he will cause, now remember this word cause, all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, which is worship to him. The word cause does not associate with the word force. He's not going to force people. He's going to cause them. He's going to use pawns like celebrities to get people. Imagine if a celebrity's traveling during a time where you can't travel unless you accept something. Imagine that these influencers are traveling and they're doing a stream or they're doing some type of YouTube video or TikTok video, and they're traveling and they're telling you that you can only travel if you receive this mark, or you can only get this type of car if you receive this mark, or they're just doing little small campaigns for this mark. Influencers are pawns, and they're going to be used in the last days. They're being primed for it right now. They're being given the world right now. They're being given the minds of the youth. I know the saying where it says that if your friend jumps off a bridge, will you jump off a bridge? I truly believe that all of these influences have the power to make people jump off of bridges with them. So beware of the influencers in the last days, because they will be used as pawns. Money is the root of all evil. I'm telling y'all, money is the root of all evil.
We have some major news right now. ICE is ramping up its building of a surveillance-like state against American citizens. And according to the Washington Post, this is one of the more chilling reports that you'll read. So according to Eva Dow, a technology reporter with the Post, ICE is planning on expanding its surveillance state-like system to start probing what the administration defines as, quote, Antifa, which is a decentralized organization, not an actual organization. The acting director of ICE recently told Glenn Beck that the agency is, quote, dedicated to this mission. Quote, we're going to track the money, we're going to track these ringleaders. In recent weeks, ICE has been purchasing a number of iris and face scanners, according to the Post, including spyware that could remotely hack cell phones and location data. They're ramping up surveillance of individuals in America who dissent against this administration, and I encourage you to read this full Washington Post article because it's pretty stunning. So as always, spread the word. Full updates on my Substack, linked in bio. Subscribe for free. Follow along for all the news you need to know about.
Walmart announced a partnership with OpenAI. Shoppers will be able to use ChatGPT to make purchases. The company hopes to make the shopping experience a little more proactive than reactive. Eventually, the software will learn to anticipate your needs at the store. The company has not released specific terms of the partnership, including when it will be available for shoppers.
What just happened in Kenya is insane. At least 4 people are dead and dozens more were injured after police fired gunshots and tear gas into crowds yesterday at a football stadium in Nairobi. Now, the people were at that stadium to mourn the death of a former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga, during a public viewing of his body. And if the footage from above wasn't crazy enough, people were actually filming from in the crowd of their experience at the freaking Kenya Games. Bro, someone even commented that this was some red light, green light type shit. Now, reports say that police resorted to violence because the crowds were trying to force their way into the VIP area where Odinga's body was kept. And according to local media, some allegedly even began throwing chairs and stones at security. But regardless of the circumstances, being killed at a public viewing ceremony is wild. Now, it is still unclear if the police used live ammunition or if the deaths were from being shot. But the BBC reported that the city's mortuary saw 3 bodies being brought in with gunshot wounds. A 7-day period of mourning in Kenya has been declared.
America is a scam, y'all. America is a scam. You will not believe how much cheaper it is to shop in Germany than America, y'all. Y'all gotta watch this. This is actually depressing. If you are American, this is actually depressing. And is any other country in the world experiencing what America is experiencing right now? Let me know that in the comments below, y'all. This is crazy, but watch this.
Today I'm going to show you how expensive drugstore products are in Germany. Starting out with shower gel for 55 cents, deodorant for 60 cents, toothpaste for 65 cents. Oh my god, this is crazy. Period pads for $1.95. Shampoo for 65 cents. I always love to show this. 10 rolls of toilet paper for $4.95. You can find a toothbrush for 75 cents. 4 hand towels for $2.95. Makeup remover for 95 cents. And it's perfume free. Hand soap for 65 cents. It's so insane. Everything is so cheap here.
Let that sink in, you guys. This is the basic necessities that you need in order to get by in life. And yet America is making you put your life on the line. You have to open up a whole new credit card in order to buy basic necessities and groceries just to make it in this life. So is every other country living their own timeline? No one is playing by America's rules. So is America the only one that is dealing with these terrorists, these so-called terrorists? This is crazy.
Face wash for $1.95. Also face cream for $1.95. $1.95 is a special number here. Cheapest hair mousse, $1.15.
In the beginning of the year, I seen a lot of people saying that they're moving out of the United States, and I don't blame them, y'all. But something has to give. Something has to give, y'all. The shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
There is literally a civil war breaking out in every single definition there is as the cartel puts bounties on ICE agents. And that comes directly from our government, and that's not even the worst of it. We'll get into the whole different bounties and stuff in a minute. But at the same time, we have President Maduro coming out of Venezuela, obviously, saying that they are at war with the CIA. The fact that they're using people in the U.S. against the U.S. shows just how dangerous this really is. I mean, literally, Trump's already sent B-52 bombers to their coastline, and I believe 10,000 service members right now as we speak. And now we have basically children posting these videos. $50,000 for a high-level execution, $2,000 for intelligence gathering, and $5,000 to $10,000 for non-lethal kidnapping. Y'all, this is absolutely insane. And allegedly, I don't know if this is true or not, allegedly Maduro tried to make a deal with the president saying that if you cancel your alliance, I want to say alliance, but like if you cancel your foreign diplomatic stance with China and Russia, then he will allow them, oil and stuff like that. And when we talk about Maduro, I think it's really important to remember he was just talking about arming every single citizen in Venezuela in case of any kind of land invasion. And by the way, land invasion seems to be on the table. And politically speaking here, we have both sides fueling the fire and the chaos happening in the United States. I'm watching this very closely and I'll update y'all later.
Now, I need y'all to understand something. There's something weird that's taking place on the planet right now. And it's all based on the cosmological alignments that's taking place on the planet because it's basically a timestamp. Now, they said that the red moon is not supposed to be here until September 7th or 8th. It is 2 a.m. September 5th. And you can see the bioluminescent frequency that is being extracted from the moon because one thing you got to understand about the moon is what manipulated the human circulatory system to the point where it caused chromosome breakage. Chromosome breakage is why you have, telomeres being shorted to where you're not able to activate the junk DNA because it's all tether connected to the Van Allen belt. So everything that you're seeing taking place right now when it comes to the moon, these are basically celestial timestamps for the reset. All this stuff that's going on with Trump right now, I keep telling y'all, this is Luciferian moon magic. It's based on the coronation of kingship to where he's crowned prince over a totalitarian dystopia that is based on merging humans with cybernetics, right? Because that's the beast frequency. The beast frequency is cultivated by the moon. So everything that you're seeing taking place right now, these are timestamps for the reset.
Well, y'all, the orange man done did it. He done did it. So the federal government just told the states to withhold the national SNAP benefits for November. And let me make something perfectly clear. Stopping Medicaid and food supplement, nutritional supplement, SNAP benefits right before the holiday season is 1000% intentional. 1000%. So that means it is either going to be epically late as a part of collective punishment, and they announced it right before No King's Day on the 18th, because there's supposed to be a huge march going on the 18th, just as a warning to everybody. They announced it on the 18th, or they announced it the day before the 18th, or a couple of days before the 18th, that there's a huge possibility that there will not be any SNAP benefits for November or December, or it'll be epically late with no, I'm guessing, no rollback or no back amount. I'm guessing, that's not confirmed. Military healthcare has been down all day, and they don't know when it'll be back up. They don't have any answers, and they can't tell them why it was down. Medicaid was down all day. All of this very much provincial, because they just sent $40 billion over to Argentina. And they sent hundreds of millions of dollars overseas to Israel. All of y'all money, they sent it over to all these other countries and told you to starve for November. You can starve, bitch. You can starve, is what they said. This holiday season finna be a doozy. I'm interested to see how the white folks act, though, because y'all know they the biggest recipients of welfare. I'm interested to see how they react. I knew it was bad when me and MAGA started agreeing on certain shit. Hear me out. Hear me out. Not on the same things, but the common enemy. When we both started agreeing on a common enemy, that's when I said, oh, this is bad.
They're taking SNAP money next month. Representative Stansberry came out with the ranking member of the Agricultural Committee and said that during the committee, and it's happening, that's the administration is sending out letters to states to stop sending SNAP benefits as of next month. Our national debt is ballooning out of control. We're sending $40 billion to Argentina when so many people in the United States are suffering. The Office of Business Management has no idea where tariff money, where all the money that's saved from the government, from the people they fired, from refusing to send money to states, to all these different things. Nobody knows where money is at. And our national debt is exploding. Do you have an idea where that money may be? Take care, friends.
ICE and immigration officials have officially arrested and detained nearly 20 children who are U.S. citizens, including 2 with cancer. How fucking disturbing is that? These are American kids born here, literally fighting cancer, and they were detained and deported under Trump's immigration crackdown. One of them was a 10-year-old little girl with brain cancer. Her family was driving to Houston so she could see her doctors, and ICE stopped them at a checkpoint and deported the entire family, including her and her siblings, who are all U.S. citizens, by the way. They made that little girl sleep on a cold floor under bright lights while she was sick and waiting to be deported. And it's not just her. A 4-year-old boy with kidney cancer was deported without his medication. ICE was even told about his condition, and still, they sent him away. Now, they're saying these operations are highly targeted. Yeah, targeted at children with cancer, apparently. If these kids aren't safe, then ain't nobody safe, y'all. When the government starts ignoring its own citizens, especially children, that's when you know something is seriously wrong. How far does this go before people start saying enough is enough?
The programmable alien AI has infected carbon material and is what has taken over the platonic solid dodecahedron and related pentagonal geometries that build time-space constructs. These time-space constructs are instruction sets in the morphogenetic field that run into the ley lines of the planetary body. This is how they have built artificial realities and false timelines and projected them into false holograms. So the dodecahedron is connected to the ether. And with it being in reversal, that is the control of physical matter. So the inverted pentagram or five-pointed star, so prevalent in Satanism, is also symbolic of this unbroken time cycle, the vibrational prison. The fifth element connects to alchemy in our throat chakra and is the key to overcoming this. It comes down to the power of our words. So dark mother reversals, Baphomet, harvesting, and siphoning. This is all this reversal of the dodecahedron, the ether element, symbolic of the pentagram going downward. And it's also known as the reversal mother. And it's the anti-female collective consciousness of the Satanists, whose accumulated collective consciousness is harvested by the negative alien agenda to gain energetic power from the earth grid and from humanity. Thus, in order to gain full access to siphon the planetary consciousness energies as well as the human soul, that further spread the satanic forces to take power and control in the earth. This is the entropic system put in place in all controller pillars of society in order that they can continue to hijack all aspects of the female consciousness and all of its permutations, such as the fallen goddess consciousness energies, which gives them access to the earth energy.
Pray for Alaska. Typhoon hit. Don't know why nobody's really talking about it. Homes were ripped off the foundation, floating into the ocean. They don't even know how many people are missing. They don't even know if and how many people have passed. Devastating floods with a devastating typhoon, very high winds. Again, happened over the weekend. Interesting that Mexico had so much flooding down south, and up north Alaska had some really bad weather going on up there too. But this is the first I've seen anything out of Alaska, so we definitely got to keep them in our prayers, because at this time we really don't know exactly what the devastation is. It also is a very rural country, and there's not a whole lot of, I'm sure internet's down, I'm sure electricity's down, I'm sure it's hard for them to get any information out. But definitely keep Alaska in your prayers.
If the government is shut down, how are they still taking taxes out my motherfucking check?
Listen up. Money, property, and even personal identity will soon all be in digital form. Or at least that's what BlackRock CEO Larry Fink seems to think.
I do believe we're just at the beginning of the tokenization of all assets, from real estate to equities to bonds across the board.
If you haven't noticed, all world central banks, financial institutes, and tech groups are creating a system. And this system will literally convert everything into a digital record that will be stored on a blockchain. And this is called tokenization, where all things will be converted into a digital representation of itself. Just like us, we will have digital twins. And this system is essential for CBDCs or stablecoins. They're starting it out with something small like online age verification, where they slowly get your compliance. And then it ends up like Canada is about to do. Just listen.
I am concerned, as I say, by the following sections. 15.1 and 15.2 give the minister the unprecedented, incredible power to kick any private Canadian citizen off the internet, to cut off their phone line, to turn off their cell phone. That's a plain language summary, but I will quote now the bill in its legalese. If there is reasonable grounds to believe that it is necessary to do so to secure the Canadian telecommunication system against any threat, the minister may prohibit a telecommunication service provider from providing any service to the specified person. Now, perhaps this might make sense to do in an extreme circumstance, if a person is trying to cause our satellites to crash or to jam military radar. But this section does not use language about extreme threats of physical damage or threats to national security. It says any threat. And as far as I can tell, given the Liberals' incautious and bombastic use of terms like misinformation, that being any information they don't like, or existential threat, for instance, the member from Milton called the leader of my party an existential threat to our democracy, which is, of course, bananas. So given their incautious and bombastic use of these, it seems to me that the industry minister could deem any speech she doesn't like any threat, and then kick that person off the internet. This section reaches Chinese Communist Party levels of government overreach, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
Now, why is this concerning? Because we do everything with the internet these days. How do you pay your bills? With the internet, by using your phones. Most people don't even know how to use a map these days. They rely on GPS. Or people who work from home like me, I have to have the internet. The Bible says that people will not be able to buy or sell. This is a very good example of that system that is being implemented right now.
So let's talk about 3i Atlas. It is a comet or an interstellar object that is the size of Manhattan that is heading towards us. Now the spiritual community has gone in a frenzy about this comet, and I don't know if you've seen videos about this, but apparently there was this remote viewer who saw the Draco reptilians. I can't say the whole word because videos get taken down if I say the whole thing. But these lizard aliens, you know what I'm talking about, they are in this 3i Atlas interstellar comet object thing. It's probably a spaceship, who knows? And they're going to be sending little, I think, like Hubbles of tinier spaceships from the bigger spaceship to be here on Earth. So this is kind of like a colonization, if you will. Now, I'm not saying this is 100% going to happen. If you follow me, you know I talk about everything spirituality, metaphysics, science. However, as a psychic medium, I have a lot of odd premonition dreams, and there was this dream I had 2 years ago that was almost exactly like what the remote viewer saw. In this dream, I saw planet Earth, and I saw this huge spaceship coming towards planet Earth. Like, it was even bigger than the size of Manhattan. There were also human-built spaceships, so much tinier in comparison, orbiting around Earth, trying to protect Earth from this interstellar object from coming in. And this massive interstellar spaceship, comet, whatever, instead of shooting missiles to try to, destroy the human spaceships, it was sending out, in my dream, this is how I interpreted it, maybe my subconscious was telling me something, it was sending out missiles that looked like sperm, like exactly like sperm. So in my dream, I was like, what the hell? And I remember like peering into the spaceship of the enemy, and I saw Draco reptilians. And then I saw Mother Earth emerge from the center of planet Earth to kind of like shield planet Earth, to protect planet Earth, because obviously the human-made spaceships were going to be destroyed. And I literally heard Mother Earth basically saying, "Not my children." But here's the creepy thing, right? I've made so many videos talking about how once new astrological age takes place, so we are transitioning from age of Pisces to age of Aquarius, there's almost like a access point in which the stargates on Earth are going to be open very momentarily. Veil is going to thin, because if you need to change energies, you kind of need to switch the locks, right? So that access point gives any nefarious alien civilization, who knows, access to enter our field and send in star seeds, but negative star seeds. This is why in my dream, instead of them shooting missiles and launching attacks on us through something physical, maybe like a bomb, it represented itself as sperm in my dream. So it's almost as if my calculations, my prediction was right. If we are in trouble with the Draco aliens, I think it's going to be less physical, and I think it's going to be more spiritual, in that they're going to send their star seeds, their negative, mean, nasty, sociopathic star seeds onto Earth, so they can overpopulate the good star seeds that are trying to incarnate here. Because remember, this flesh that you have is just an avatar, it's just a vessel. The soul that operates you is from the ethers, right? You may have a good soul, but that person down the street may not have a good soul. Their soul of origin could actually be from the Draco constellation. So this is just something that I feel like I need to post. I don't know if any of you other psychics have had this kind of premonition dream. I had this dream 2 years ago. I could never understand what the heck it is until now, because apparently there's a huge spaceship comet that's coming our way. Again, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not saying this is 100% going to happen, because it is from NASA, and you know what NASA is controlled by. So it's controlled by the country that starts with an I, ends with a real. So take whatever it says with a grain of salt. However, if you feel like this is happening, have an open discussion. Also, if you would like to learn more about star seeds, human angelic origins, the truth of this matrix, my book Made in God's Image talks about everything you need to know that I can't say here on TikTok. I also offer one-on-one spiritual investigations if you feel like you've been destiny swapped or hexed. I will help you figure out who, what, why, and how to get rid of it. Link in bio.
Well, y'all, you guys got to see what I got to see. It's looking like we're gonna have to save up some money, man. Put some food to the side and start stacking up and preparing for the worst, but hoping for the best. You know what to do, y'all. Make sure to comment, like, and follow for more content like this, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.